You bet we are. Welcome to our Sunday gathering, everyone. We are family. And I wonder if I were to ask you to pick one of those little critters from that film, which one you would be. It'd be great to see all of our faces superimposed on all the little critters. Yeah, I don't know what I'd be. A bird, squirrel, I don't know. Anyways, welcome to our wonderful Sunday gathering. I'm Sandra Champlain. I'm joined by the beautiful, talented, and wonderful Shirley Ann Sharp coming to us from New Zealand today. I'm in America in a little state called Rhode Island. You are here for our 273rd Sunday gathering. Yeah, it was that many weeks ago that we created our Sunday gathering, and we created this family. We never knew it was going to happen, but family doesn't have to be people you're born into. We really can create it with like-minded souls. I know today is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day if you're a dad with us here today or you've done some fathering. Also to our fathers, whether they're still on this side of life or they're in the spirit world. So we're going to celebrate Father's Day. We're going to celebrate life, the afterlife, weave in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Shirley Ann today will be doing our prayers. She'll be starting off our address and also be doing our demonstration of mediumship. You've got me for our reading, our announcements, some words for the week. I'll also be joining her in the address, and I kind of play the DJ. Shirley Ann picked most of the songs today. I picked the healing song, but we're just grateful to be here with you and whatever brought you here today. Just a warm welcome. We are family. We truly are. And that chat box is open. It's nice to see you guys chatting with each other. We've gotten to be friends, even though we can't see each other, but we're very, very real community. And like I said, like-minded souls. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Shirley Ann for our opening prayer and welcome everyone.
Thank you, Sandra. And thank you for that amazing introduction. My goodness. Okay. So if we could all join together, just in the silence for a moment, for this 273rd gathering on Father's Day. And as we come together and unite our lights and hold each other's hand, even though it's through the internet, we can feel each other's energy. We can feel the connection with the people that we have so much in common with, both here and within the next world, the spirit world, where our loved ones take their next stage in their journey of life. As we come together, shining our light bright, uniting our wills, our personalities, our being into one family. We are family. We are all connected. We are all here to help and teach one another, to reflect with each other, to hold each other's hands when things don't get so good, aren't so good, I should say, and to celebrate the successes. We like that one. So everyone, as we come together and invite our loved ones from the spirit world, who are always with us anyway, but today's a little bit special, being that Father's Day and this 273rd episode. So in the silence, just invite your loved ones, hold their hands, let them sit close, and let them shuffle even a little bit more closer, and come together with each of us to open today's service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shirley Ann. That's beautiful. Okay, the reading done by yours truly. When we think about fathers and the enduring spirit of fatherhood, I'm reminded of a simple story. It is a parable about an old boat builder who worked in a small shop by the sea filled with the scent of sawdust and salt. The boat builder was teaching a child how to build a small, sturdy vessel. Day after day, they worked together. The boat builder's lessons were never just about the how, they were always about the why. He taught the child not just how to hammer a nail, but how the strength of a joint is what holds the boat together through a storm. He taught not just how to sand the wood, but how a smooth hull I got a bug, sorry. How a smooth hull is what allows it to glide through the water with grace and purpose. And he taught not just how to set a mast, but how the sail is designed to catch the very winds that might otherwise push you off course. During their work, the old man would often pause, look out at the calm water, at the harbor, and share a piece of wisdom. Remember, he would tell the child with a knowing look, a ship in a harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for. Finally, the day came when the boat was finished. It was strong and beautiful, and the sea was calling. The child, now grown, looked at the vast ocean and then back at the old boat builder with fear in their eyes. I am afraid, said the new sailor. I cannot do this without you. How can I navigate the storms and find the calm harbors alone? The old boat builder smiled gently and placed a hand on the side of the finished vessel. Oh, but you are not going alone, he said. You see, I am not the captain of this boat. You are. My work is already done. My strength is in these joints. My wisdom is in the curve of this hull. My belief in you is the rudder. Everything you need from me, you already have. Then he leaned in and shared one last piece of advice, his voice both a gentle whisper and a powerful command. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did do. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. And isn't that the hidden truth within the great spirit of fatherhood? When it comes from a father, a mother, a grandparent, or a mentor, the love we receive is not meant to keep us tethered to the shore forever. It is meant to build us into vessels capable of going on our own voyages. For those of us whose boat builders are still in the workshop with us, please cherish their presence and their lessons. For those of us who have boat builders who have passed from sight, this story brings us comfort. It reminds us that their love, their strength, and their wisdom were not temporary gifts. They are built into us. They are the strong joints that hold us together when waters get rough, and the smooth hull that helps us find our grace. We are never truly without them. This parable brings inspiration. It reminds us that we were made to catch the wind, to sail away from the safe harbor, and to truly live. And finally, it brings us empowerment. It assures us that we have everything we need. We have the rudder. We have everything within us to navigate our own seas. The greatest tribute we can pay to our own boat builders is not to stay safe in the harbor, but to follow their words, to dream, to explore, and to discover. Thank you for listening to my reading. Now, with that, we are going to turn into our healing segment. I know we have some newcomers to our Sunday gathering, so I just want to share that we play a beautiful piece of music, and it's our time to send that loving prayer of healing, that prayer of intention, however you wish to do it, to the world, to the people in the world, to animals in the world. And there is a lot of unrest going on right now. However that is for you, whether it's a cooling rainbow or mist around the earth, whatever that may be, picture people happy, whole, well, peaceful. I do believe that those, the unseen world, use our human energy and they direct it to where it is needed. So even if you don't know how to do anything, just sit, relax, enjoy this beautiful song. I have picked the musician Hauser, who is literally in the falls in Croatia. Beautiful, very beautiful song. And then when the song ends, you'll hear from Shirley Ann first, and then myself for the address. So here is our healing song.
Thank you, Sandra, for that wonderful music. It is so powerful. It hits you right in the heart. But welcome, 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 everyone, on this Father's Day. For many countries in the world, of course, you're celebrating Father's Day. We in New Zealand don't have it yet. But hey, who needs a day specifically to celebrate our loved ones? We could be doing it every day. But Father's Day, let's just unpack Dad. It could be your biological father. It could be a mentor. It could be another member of your family, just someone who's taken care of you, someone who's picked you up, someone you look up to, someone who's just always there for advice. You may find that mentor person in your life within a group of people who have familiar and similar ideas and passions, e.g., the gathering, and we're all here together. But we can find this kinship in so many places in our lives, little pockets that hide here and there. But dads have usually been at every school function. They were there when you took your first breath. They are one of two people who have been very, very close to you for your whole life. And of course, we're made up of them. Our genes are from their gene pool. How many times have you said, oh, you look like, been told, oh, you look like your mother, oh, you look like your father? Sometimes it's a bit scary, but other times you think, yeah, I do. It helps me belong. It shows I belong. But you know, family is just so important, and that special man in our life is heavily woven in that fabric. I want to call it our safety net of life, because it doesn't matter what you do, what happens to you, where you go, you always have that safety net at home. You're always accepted, you're always loved, you're always supported. Doesn't matter what you've done, it doesn't matter what you've said, it doesn't matter what's happened around you. That family is always there. Through the thick, through the thin. Your family helps you create memories, your early childhood, right through your whole life. Dads have been there at your wedding, for a lot of us, to put up that first set of shelves, to move you into your first shared home. Some of us have even taught to drive, which may not have been a hugely good experience, but they've always been there with a helping hand. They've always been there with the offer of, I'm here just for you. Some of us, of course, our mums in our lives, fill the role of dad too. That's a fairly heavy weight when we think about it. But our mums always manage. They always manage to get through with all that pressure on them to be both parents. And there's many of you here listening. Give yourselves a clap. Have you fallen into that category? Our dads here, give yourself a pat on the back. Because so many times we are doing so much for our children, so much for our family. Not many times people turn around and say thank you, or I love you, or I care about you, or I am here to listen to you. So maybe we have to be a little bit watchful about those aspects of our relationships with our mum and dad and our siblings, that we are there too for them. I will share a little bit of a personal story, which I don't normally, but many years ago, I had a house fire. I was tired, I had worked long hours, and I had done a silly thing. It was completely my fault, absent-minded. So I would have burnt down half my house, which at that stage was actually my work premises as well. The fire brigade came, and I think there was 3 engines. They were all out there with their hoses, and they were putting the fire out so well. And then they cleaned up after them, which even shocked me more. The neighbour come over with a hot cup of tea with lots of sugar in it for shock. All I wanted was everybody to leave, put the fire out and go. But they asked me, "Are you okay?" Yes. "Is everything all right?" Yes. "Will you be all right?" Yes. I'm totally in control in my head, organising what I'd have to do to be able to make the premises ready for work again. I knew I could handle this. I was quite capable. So everybody left, and it was early hours of the morning. Well, I rang my mum. As soon as I heard my mum's voice, I fell to pieces like an unset jelly because it was my mum. It was a member of my family that I could relax with. I could be who I was, and I knew I would be accepted. Emotions, silliness, all the rest of it. I did a stupid thing, but I was accepted. The next morning, the whole family arrived around, 3 van loads, buckets, mops, all sorts of things. I had not long got up because, as you can imagine, it had been a long night. And I looked at my bed when I got up, and there was this shape of black silt because I'd just gone to bed. Well, they got stuck in. I was able to be open that day, not for business, but to let my clients know that I would be open on Monday due to my family's hard work. Then my sister-in-law stayed with me. She stayed with me a few nights to make sure that I was okay. These people are so special in our lives. That undeniable love, and I still go back to that family net. Our fathers are well entwined in that. Everybody needs a champion, whether it be dad, whether it be mum, whether it be mum and dad mixed together. We need a champion. We need that person that's just going to put that warm blanket of security around us. Well, a few years ago, I lost my mum. I felt lost. My good, I'm a grown woman. I felt lost. Another friend said to me not so long ago that she lost her mum. She felt abandoned. That's how important and deeply entrenched these people are within our hearts. Aren't we lucky to have experienced that? I'm grateful that I knew the love of my mum, the love of members that have moved into their next stage of life, who I know that are with me, but I can't quite be with them as I used to be. But I'm privileged that I knew them. Now, many of us have become parents, and we are becoming that life net, that safety blanket for our children. And many of the things that our parents did for us, we take into our parenting. We may change, we may improve, we may not, but we try. And that's the best anybody can do, is to try their hardest, to work with what we have and make the best of what we have. Showing that love on a continual daily basis to those people around us. It doesn't mean it's always perfect. And so many times you have to stop. Do I really want to say that? Is that really going to benefit anybody? Maybe not. So don't say it. Rethink, take a breath, bring yourself back into yourself and rethink what you want to say. I was also thinking about the fact we call what we draw up about our family history a family tree. I think there's another reason why we call it a family tree. It's those amazing roots that ground us in who we are. And the branches on which probably we'd like to hang our siblings on, but that's where they sit. and they're all part of us. They teach us forgiveness, they teach us empathy, they teach us patience, they teach us kindness, they teach us ferociousness. But all these special people around us teach us how to work with life, how to be in life. So maybe you've got a sibling that you don't communicate with so well, and then you've got another sibling who is amazing. Both of those people have taught you to be who you are today. So in one way, you can say thank you, because they have contributed massively, 100% to who you are today. The family unit is something that everybody should experience. There's many people around the world that cannot experience this. So we can draw them into our group. It doesn't have to be biological. If you choose to invite people into your family, into your life, it's usually because there's some similar vein running through. We are all connected in different ways. It may be a belief system. It may be a hobby. It may be a love for animals. It may be the pure fact that they live next door. They're all good reasons to make sure another person is loved. Another person is cared for. Another person has human contact and is touched. So often we hear about so many lonely people in this world. If we can make a little bit of a difference, it all joins together to make a big difference. So often we look at a problem and think, oh, I'm not going to make a difference. It's too big. It's too huge. Try your best. You may feel your difference is so tiny, it's unnoticeable. But I doubt it would be unnoticeable. Take care of yourselves, but take care of those around you. Remember to love. Don't feud. None of that. Remember that family life net is always there for you, whether it has been created by your parents or you are creating it for yours in that next part of your life. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you so much, Shirley. And I think what I would like to add to that, you mentioned the family tree. It brought me back to that story of the boat builder. And sometimes I think these parables and readings I do they're just as much for me as they are for anybody else. But to me, going through life as a kid, I never wanted to grow up. I didn't. I thought things would be a little scary. I didn't want to be independent. I didn't want to have to make decisions. My parents really were the anchors to life. And the older I got, yep, independent. And now I'm 59, crazy as that is. I still have my mom, which is great. Dad's in spirit. But then when I think of the boat builder, someday mom will be in spirit and I'll be a little bit older. But getting that not only did our parents leave within us so many values and strengths and ways of being, but I started thinking it's not just our parents. We have generations behind us. We do. That family tree Shirley Ann was talking about. What are those things that maybe our great, 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 great grandfather or grandmother did that somehow moved their way into you? And it may not be through DNA, but it just might be a habit, an expression, maybe something you cook. But they live within us. They never truly are gone. And with all these years of studying the afterlife and seeing so many incredible reunions on our Sunday gathering, why would we think that they wouldn't love us any less or any more? They're still with us with that love, that empowerment. I've often heard people say, those little messages or great ideas you seem to get out of nowhere, they're in our own voice. But I think our loved ones work through that inner voice, still being our biggest champions, but they're right here with us. Now, I don't think this is not my belief anyways, that everything in life happens for a reason. If that's your belief, I won't take it away. But for me, that doesn't empower me. But I do think to some extent that what does empower me is to say, okay, maybe, just maybe certain things we pre-planned. Now, for many of you, you know that I would like to say the whole reason we were all joined was because of my dad and his passing back 15 years ago, and the rock bottom I hit and the answers that I went looking for and the new friends that came into my circle. And here we are on the Sunday gathering celebrating. So it started with dad. And when Shirley Ann said about our siblings hanging them on those branches, I had to laugh because I still have estranged relationships with my siblings. But what if really, before this all came to be, that there's some healing that needs to happen in the world? And what if, whether we decided it before we came here or somewhere along the way, our souls said, hey, if we all pulled together and we all took these different roles, we could make a difference. Now, you're going to hurt a little bit. Things are going to be tough. You're going to forget that we planned all this. And then here we are, 273 Sunday gatherings later, and a difference has been made. Now, I'm not saying that's the truth. I really don't. I know there's some really bad stuff that happens here on earth, and I don't think we plan it. But what I do say is that we can learn from it. I think everything that happens, every hardship is an opportunity to learn about ourselves, about others, about the whys. And eventually you may find yourself talking to somebody and they need to hear exactly what you have to say. So if you're going through a tough time now, know that there's help in the invisible world around you. It's not going to last. And someday, I promise you this, you're going to look back and say, had that happened, not happened exactly that same way, this wouldn't be happening now. It's pretty incredible. But to trust, we often talk about Mother Nature, but what about Father Nature? What about looking outside? I'm looking at nature right now, and everything's got a plan. The little acorn knows how to grow into an oak. Babies, we saw that baby in the first video, that everything within it knows how to grow into being an adult. Everything you look at, everything you see was touched by human hands of somebody. And everything came from the raw materials from planet Earth. This is simply a reminder that we live in an amazing universe. We get cut, our bodies heal. Things happen outside. The plant a flower, it grows. Like I said, the mighty oak loses an acorn, grows another. There's some kind of a divine plan going on here. So whether it's today, Father's Day, or any day, look at life through that eyes of the child. Look at the wonder everything is. Look at really everything, that it was either touched by human hands and created. You can have a word of gratitude for it, or just look at the mystery of life and that you get to be part of it. Whether your dad is with you in spirit or with you here on earth, they're with you, whether you knew them or not. Your loved ones are still around. They're still a big part of your life. And just think to yourself, because I know you're pretty awesome, and you know you're pretty awesome when we're not being hard on ourselves. But what are those things that we got from our ancestors that get to live and be part of us, and that we get to share them with others? So as I wrap up this address, I just want to say, you're amazing. If I was dad talking to you right now, I'm proud of you. I loved seeing you grow up and who you've become. And I'll never be far away. You can always talk to me. You may not feel my hugs, but I have them for you. So with that, my friends, that concludes our address. Thank you. We're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And this is always a joyful occasion just to know how close our loved ones are to us. We will have some members of the spirit world joining us for this, who will get, and some of our congregation members will get some readings today. But I do like to say that those that come through on our Sunday gathering from the other side, they're really here with messages for all of us. So even if it isn't your loved one that comes through, please listen in. Hopefully, my words and Shirley Ann's words made a difference for you. But those in the spirit world are here to do the same thing. So pay attention to just how close they are. There might be something Shirley Ann shares that you say, oh my gosh, they're right here with us. Or a message that comes through, you might say, gosh, I could use some of that myself. So our loved ones that come through really are for everyone. I playfully say they're panelists from the other side. Zoom calls us panelists. So as we begin our demonstration, just a few quick things. I know we've got some people here for the very first time. Shirley Ann has been a long-time medium, and she also fills in as a tutor when our Carrie and Phil are traveling, along with our friend Tim. She will request from the spirit world who wants to work with her. Now, I think behind the scenes, there's a team Sunday gathering in the spirit world, and they have it planned of who's going to come through and the messages and things. So as much as we hope and pray, because I know we're all hoping and praying, right, that our loved ones come through, a nice prayer would be, let the message go to the person who needs it the most. And we're going to piggyback and we're going to listen in, because we're going to take some of that for ourselves. So you'll hear Shirley Ann give a few bits of information about the spirit person that has connected with her. And yes, we are still people. We still have our sense of humor. We're still us. So she will give a description of the spirit person. We want you to listen in. Is this your person? Now, if she describes somebody that's fully alive, you're not going to press your raise hand button. Okay, she's going to give a description of somebody who's no longer walking this earth. But if you can understand all the details as the person she described as somebody that you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press that raise hand button. Now, this is audience participation right now. Find that raise hand button on your device and press it. See how it works. Goes from raise hand to lower hand. If you're on an iPad or a phone, you might need to press the few dots first. So why this is important, and I repeat it every time, is sometimes there's more than one person that can take this information. Shirley Ann or another medium will continue working, giving some more bits of information. And if you say, oh, that no longer applies, then you'll press that lower hand button. In a perfect world, we are left with one person with their hand raised, and then I press a button on my side. You'll get a flash on your screen, and an unmute button will appear. You don't appear on camera, but we do like to hear your voice. Whether you work with Shirley Ann, another medium, or you get a medium reading out in the world, do your very best to let the medium do the work. All we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know to the information that's given. All right, that's it. Yes, no, or I don't know. Don't let the medium ever fish saying, oh, I got an M name. Who am I talking about? I feel a woman's energy. Who am I talking about? No, we're all trying to raise the standard of mediumship. So let them do the work. And you simply say yes, no, or I don't know. And for everyone else who doesn't receive a reading, what are we doing? That's right. We are pulling the reading towards us. What part of this can we take for our life? All right. So we always like to play a feel-good piece of music before our demonstration. Today is no different. Shirley Ann has picked an awesome song by Celine Dion. So I'm going to play that, and then we'll be right back with our demonstration. And just think of your loved ones. Really, think of them right now. Here we go. That's a beautiful song. I love it, love it, love it. Well, Shirley Ann.
Emotional, actually.
It is. It is. We are alive.
I think that's today. It's quite an emotional time for a lot of people. As Sandra hinted, around the world, there's lots of things happening. And of course, it's Father's Day as well. So lots to occupy our minds, lots to occupy our thoughts, and so much to fill our healing prayers with. But it is my job here to bring through some loved ones from the spirit world. And I feel as though I have mum with me here at the moment. I feel the person I'm looking for would have nursed mum before she passed and is at present caring for dad. So I feel as though dad is still here with us, but mum has passed. And I feel as though you are caring for dad right now as we speak. May not be caring for him as him being unwell, but caring for him as a person. I feel like you're with him frequently, so he's probably living with you at the moment as well. Can we throw that out there, please, Sandra?
Thank you very much. If you can understand that information, go ahead and press your raise hand button for us, please. All right, Steph. Steph,
Yeah.
if you can press the unmute button. Hi, Steph.
Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Hello, Steph. So you would understand mum in the spirit world, and you're caring for dad at the moment as well.
Yes,
Thank you for that. And you'd understand that mum's mobility towards the end was definitely inhibited.
correct.
And I feel dad's is becoming the same way.
Yes,
But I want to say, I feel from mum, the extent you went to of making sure that they were involved in family outings and taking them out, getting them in and out of vehicles, getting her in and out of vehicles, I should say, was enormous. It was enormous effort on you.
yes,
And I feel as though mum, I feel as though towards the end, mum struggled to communicate, but you knew by looking at mum the love that she had for you.
that's correct. Yes,
Mum had very, very expressive eyes. You would understand that.
correct.
And I feel like mum's giving me a memory here. Would you understand mum making clothes for you, sewing for you?
Yeah,
And she's sort of, it feels like in those days where there would have been lots of ruffles and lots of fluff and, things have got a lot simpler today. You would understand that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, And I feel as though she's giving me a memory here of even at school, well, it would have been late in your schooling career, that first dance or disco or whatever you would have gone to. She went to enormous lengths to make sure you had the right shoes, the hair was right, everything was perfect for you.
Yeah, it's very involved. Yes,
Yeah, and it was almost like mum was living it through you, I feel. And you would have even felt that because I feel like you would have gone to the dance and it was almost like mum was coming with you. Of course, she wasn't, but the feeling of.
correct. Yes, yes, yes.
And she's bringing back these lovely memories that she has of you. And I feel she didn't get the opportunity to tell you how proud she was of you.
Mhm. Thank you.
She's letting me know here that because I feel when mum got to a stage where she needed care, that there was the option to have others care for mum, but you held your hand up. You were the one that said, "No, I'm looking after my mum."
Hmm. Yes,
And the gratefulness here with this lady, honestly, is just huge. You allowed her to remain a member of the family, to still be, because I even feel in her later years, she was still the lady everybody went to, everybody like still that matriarch of the family.
yeah, yeah.
And I know at some points when you would have mum at home, but I do feel that mum lived with you. That would be correct.
At the end, yes.
Sometimes it was like a revolving door. Family were coming in, friends were coming in, everybody was coming to see mum.
Yeah,
And that was the influence that she left on this strong family I feel that you have. I
that's
know
correct.
mum was very big, I feel, on manners and doing the right thing.
Hmm.
If you even thought about doing the wrong thing, it was cut off at the knees. It was like Mum had the sixth sense, particularly with you, Steph. Because I
Yes.
even feel with Mum, she kind of, nah, before you even did it.
The look.
It was the look. But I feel as though Mum is leaving a message of pride. And, I just feel as though I'm looking at this beautiful girl I raised into an amazing woman. I feel as though that you have children yourself now. That would be correct.
Correct. Yes.
So caring for parents is a very, very, it's stressful. It's a big job. I know with your father home, you've had to rearrange things. Mum's letting me know that things had to be changed in the house for Dad.
Hmm.
But you weren't going to have it any other way. And I feel this pride with her, with your strength of dealing with everything. Again, with Dad, you took it on yourself. No one else was going to care for my dad. No institute, no bunch of nurses, no bunch of doctors. I'm caring for my dad and his day-to-day needs. And I even feel with Dad, you care for all the intimate things with him.
Hmm. Yes.
And the pride Mum has here with you doing all of that, because in her eyes, it's a big ask of any child. And you would understand that Mum often said she never wanted to be a burden.
Mhm.
But she's letting me know here with you, she never felt a burden. She never felt somebody else being responsible for her. She just had a daughter who loved her, who looked after her to her final days.
Mm.
I do feel with Mum, she's letting me know here there were words that weren't spoken before she passed. And there's a little wish with you of, I wish I had have said this. I wish I would have made Mum aware of this. You would understand that.
Correct. Yeah.
I want you to throw open the windows, climb a mountain, stand on the side of a river and shout it out to Mum. Because I feel she's there with you all the time and she will hear you. She's very close with you and your dad at the moment. And I feel as though, would I be correct in saying, and this is just letting you know that she's around, I feel like you were fumbling with Dad's medication. You were either tired or other things on your mind, and the medication spilt on the floor and you had to get down and pick it all up. I'm feeling this was quite recently.
Yeah.
That's just Mum letting us know that she's around. She's seen that. We call that life evidence. Just letting you know that she's around. I do
Thank
feel
you.
that there's been times around you too, you've heard noises and there shouldn't be a noise where the noise is. You would understand that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
would I be correct in also saying that you've heard your name called across the room or called across a crowded space?
Yeah. Just looked around.
Be
That just
aware, love.
happened to me yesterday, actually.
Yeah, your mum's close. She's got your hand. She'll also have your head if you need to have a little cry. If some of those days that don't go so well, I know you suffer with headaches. Some of those days that are not so good, mum's there. Just ask her for strength. But she's there every pace you walk with your dad. She knows what you're going through. She sees what her husband is happening to her husband, because you would understand that he's deteriorating at the moment. And there has been the thought of, I wonder how much longer I will have him. Would you understand that?
Correct.
Yeah. So savor every moment is what I want to say to you, and savor it with joy, because he's either here with you or when he moves to the other side, he's with his lady, his first love. Because I know when Dad lost Mum, it broke his heart. You would understand that.
100%.
So on both sides, he has his ladies. So think about it with a smile, not a smile, but joy. Don't be sad. Take advantage of every moment you have with your dad and think of the good times. Think of all the things that you and he shared and know that mum is there with you.
Thank
Steph,
you.
thank you for allowing me to work with you and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Sandra. That was lovely to work with that lady. Now, as I move my mind to the spirit world yet again, I feel as though I have a son here, and I feel as though this son, this lad, would have passed in an accident. Sandra, can we please throw that out? Thank you.
A son
A
who's
son.
passed in an accident.
Yes.
Okay. If you can understand that, raise your hand. Hazel and Laura both have their hands raised.
Okay. Now I do feel with this lad, your son, I do feel as though he would have passed in an accident, and it would have been, I feel it would have been quite late. It would have been in the evening. I feel like he had been out, there had been an accident. So we're not talking a little son, we're talking an older son.
All right, ladies, does that make sense to both of you? Evening, and the son was not a little boy, he was older. Hazel and Laura, you still have your hands raised.
Okay. I feel this was very sudden, and I do not feel your son made it to hospital. So I feel as though he would have passed away at the scene of the accident.
Thank you very much. Hazel and Laura both have their hands still raised. Would you like to hear their voices, Shirley Ann?
I'll just give a little bit more
Okay.
information if I may, Sandra. I do feel, this as awful as this sounds, I feel as though I would have got a knock at the door, and you would have answered the door, and I feel your partner was present, and I feel as though this information was given to you.
Thank you very much. Laura's hand went down, so we're going to turn over to you, Hazel. Could you press your unmute button, Hazel? Hi, Hazel.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Hi, hi, Hazel. You would understand.
Hi.
You would
Well,
understand.
sorry, everything but the knock on the door.
Okay. Then you would have been given the information because I feel like I'm receiving the information and it's a shock.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And I feel as though gosh, he could be a little bit of a risk taker at times. You would understand that.
Yes.
But I do not feel in this situation he was taking any risks.
I think the same.
Okay. And you would understand there was more than just him involved in this incident.
I would like to say he'd been on a night out
Yeah.
and he was on his own when this happened.
That's what I'm feeling. Okay. But there would have been on his night out when he started his night out, he would have been with others.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I actually feel this would have been not local. I feel it would have been far away.
Yes, Spain.
Okay. And I actually feel as though it's quite interesting. Well, it's not interesting. I feel that your son was in an area that was unfamiliar to him.
Yes, you could say that.
Where he was. And I feel at the time he would have actually been on a vacation.
No, he was living there.
He was living there. Okay, all right. It's probably that party atmosphere I can pick up because I do know that he was very social
Yes.
and he knew a lot of people. He had a lot of friends.
Yes.
I also feel he was a very smart lad. He was very, very clever.
Um, with some things, I would say.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting school because we didn't really. I don't think your son and school really matched.
True.
They didn't get on as well as they could have. But I do feel with your son, I do feel he had a great sense of humor, and I feel growing up he'd actually play tricks on you.
True.
Because I want to come around the corner, and I know he'd do things like jump out on me or hide in a box and jump out at me. And I feel that lovely memory of walking into his bedroom and almost constantly saying, "Can you pick up your clothes? Can you take the dishes to the kitchen? Can you not leave food in your room, please?" You would understand that.
100%.
And you would know that sometimes your house was a bit like a bus station because his friends were in and out.
True.
And I have to say, not only male friends, but also young ladies.
True.
Because I do feel he had such a personality that the ladies used to migrate to him, and he was a very good-looking young man also.
True.
But I also know he had a very smart sense of dress. He always looked smart now, and I feel like he always smelt nice when he went out.
True.
So those things meant a lot to him. But you would remember the times he'd just come up and give you a hug. No particular reason.
Yeah.
Because I feel
Sorry.
that's all right. I just feel sometimes you'd be in the kitchen or doing something, and he'd just come up behind you and give you a hug.
Messing about.
Okay. And I feel, as far as Dad was concerned, there was a lot of love there, but not always did they meet eye to eye.
Do you mean his dad?
Yes.
That biological dad? True.
Alrighty. Because I feel like there was some decisions he wasn't happy with, and I don't actually feel like there was a close relationship there.
Oh, so true.
Yeah. And when you said his biological dad, I do feel though there would have been a stepfather there for him.
Yes, he sat beside me.
Yeah. And I know that relationship was a lot calmer, a lot more of mature friends. Like I feel like this young lad could go to his stepfather and talk about things.
Yes, so we were talking about that today.
Yeah. And it was all done in a very calm way. No one got upset. No one blew a fuse. It was just calm conversation. You would understand that.
Yes.
And I feel like he would come away from those conversations and you would understand him coming to you saying, "Well, he sorted that out for me," or "I know what to do now," or "things are a little bit clearer."
Yes.
So it was that direction that was so helpful for your son. I don't even want to say stepfather, I want to say my dad, because I feel like the true mentor, the true dad in this young man's life is the gentleman sitting next to you. You would understand that.
Absolutely.
And I feel that that dad sitting next to you went the extra mile for this young one. Am I correct also, too, that you flew and have seen where your son passed away?
Yes, we practically lived in the next field.
Yeah. And I feel you both would have stood there and you would have laid flowers where your son passed.
Not flowers. I couldn't. I didn't. Um,
But there was something left there.
they fenced that area off because
Uh,
it shouldn't have been there.
Okay. But okay, if there wasn't something left there by you, there's something you've done. You've written him a letter. You've done something because obviously there was words unsaid. You were. What really got you tangled up was you never got the opportunity to say goodbye.
True.
Okay, now I want to say to you, I mean, there's nothing worse than having to bury one of your children, but I want you to know he's very much front and center with you guys, very much front and center. And I feel Father's Day for him, because I feel there were Father's Days he missed, but the ones he didn't miss, like, actually, even if he missed them, I feel like Dad got a phone call,
I would say yes.
even if he wasn't there. But I do feel like there has been, particularly Dad's birthdays, he would have been there to celebrate.
I'm not sure of that one.
Okay. But I want you to know that I feel before your son passed, I feel like life was great. He was doing what he wanted to do. He was happy. He'd finally found happiness. Can you understand that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he had achieved, a big goal in his life, I feel, which was to be happy. He didn't he
Yeah,
didn't he didn't want a lot in life. He wanted just happiness, I feel. He wanted to find happiness. He wanted to find happiness to be able to be himself, to be the real unique person that he was.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with his love and the sense of his freedom. I feel like where he was, he finally found freedom. So I'd like to
Absolutely.
just leave you with his love and his memory and his thoughts, and much love to the man sitting next to you, who I
Oh,
thought
sure.
was about ready to reach for the tissues.
Oh, Shirley, and thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
all my love, and definitely your son's love.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. That was wonderful. Now, as my mind is in the spirit world, I feel as though I have Dad here, and I feel as though Dad would have been in the forces. I feel as though you would have seen Dad in his uniform. Um, yes, Sandra, let's throw that out, please.
Thank you very much. If you can understand that, please press your raise hand button. We have several people with their hands raised.
All right. Now, I do feel as though you would have been brought up with Dad being in the forces.
Thank you very much. If you want to lower your hand, if you can't understand that, forces being in the military.
Okay, and in the forces, in the military, I feel as though you would have lived very close to the base where Dad would have worked. I feel like the life was very much centered around that sort of, I want to say army life, but I'm not sure what it would be in different countries.
Thank you.
We still
We
have
have
around.
some military brats with us here. Yes. Yes.
Now, I also feel during your life with your dad, with his work, you would have moved a lot. I feel as though there would have been a lot of house moving, lived in different areas.
Thank you
So
very much. Couple hands went down. We still have 4 hands raised, just letting everybody know what's happening behind the scenes.
now you would also know that Dad would have seen live action, live war action. He would have been sent away on duty. I guess that would be the words.
Thank you. All right, we got Mary, Stacy, Andrea, and Patricia. Hands all still raised. Just saying that in
Yeah.
case somebody's accidental with their hand raised. Yes.
Now, I do feel with Dad in the military, he would have been sent away, but I'm feeling sort of Iraq, Iran, those type of countries, and I feel as though he would have been more working in the peacekeeping side of things.
All right. Thank you very much. We've got a couple hands that have gone down. And
Oh,
Patricia, you have your hand raised. Last hand up is our dear friend Patricia. Patricia, if you press your unmute button.
so Patricia, you would understand that Dad would have been in the military and worked on the peacekeeping side of things.
Yes, but in a peaceful type of job.
Okay, that's fine. But
Uh,
you would understand that he would have, because I feel like I'm a bit of a boss. I would have sort of had people under me. What do we call that, Sandra?
Well, he was a sergeant.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia. And I feel like you would understand he was really good at his job, because I feel like he was well known around the base and he was well liked around the base.
Yes.
And I feel this is a very fair man, but there wasn't too much grey area. He was quite black and white. You would understand that.
Yes.
But I feel like when it come to his children, he did allow grey area. There was an understanding of how children grow up. Would you understand that?
I would say so, yes.
Yeah. Because I feel a lot of love with your dad. I feel like dad would come home and you kids would literally jump all over him.
Yes.
Because he's quite a big man in stature, I feel.
Oh, no.
No, he's not quite a
No,
big.
no, no. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's not me.
No, please stay with me. Please stay with me, because I do feel as though you would have jumped all over him with kids. Now you understand he would have, because I feel like he would have gone overseas. You would understand that.
Well, we were all overseas.
But dad would have left you to go and do his job.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Sandra, can we just thank you, Patricia? Please just stay alert. Can we just check if there's anybody else out there? Mary, you would understand all this information, Mary.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Now, with Dad and his peacekeeping, I do feel as though he would have gone overseas. You would understand that.
Yes.
And you would feel, although he was in the peacekeeping corps, there was action around him.
Yes. He wasn't really in a peacekeeping corps, but he was in the military during the Vietnam War, but he wasn't in action, but he also worked during peacetime. So I'm not sure.
Okay. No, I'm definitely feeling peacekeeping with action around me.
Right.
Can we throw that out again, please, Sandra?
You keep listening, Mary and Patricia. Is there anyone who could take all of this information? Raise your hand.
Lisa. Lisa, can you understand all this information?
Yes. There's a few variations in the peacekeeping area, but he was in charge of the men, keeping the morale up.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You would understand that he would go overseas. Like would you understand him going to Iraq or Iran?
No.
Okay. Would you
No.
understand him doing peacekeeping while there was action around him?
No.
Okay.
No,
I
sorry.
still feel that. Okay, so what I can do, Sandra, is drop the relationship. So would anybody understand this about a person within their family?
All right,
Okay.
Patricia, you can unmute yourself there.
Patricia, would you understand all the information with another member of your family?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That could have been my mistake within the relationship. But I know that Dad and this other gentleman, would it have been an uncle?
No.
Okay. But your dad would have known this other person within the family?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Because I feel buddies here. I feel as though these two people understand what each other go through.
Absolutely.
And the person that
Yes.
would have gone in and seen the action imagine it would have been quite full on wartime.
Yes.
Okay, because I know that there would have been sights and scenes in there that I don't want to repeat that would have been quite severe on this man,
Yes.
because I don't feel this man come back quite the same person.
Exactly.
Okay, and I also feel there would have been also would that person have worked on the medical side as a medic?
No.
No, okay, because I just he might have worked around medics as well. All right, and I know that gentleman lost a number of friends.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. And I know you would have heard stories, but still, I feel as though I do have Dad here as well, and I feel like Dad's kind of letting me know too that sometimes he was a little bit too strict.
Yes.
Um, But I do feel your dad's letting me know he was trying his best. He could only be as good as the model he knew.
Correct.
And I know looking back on this now that you really understand it, but I do feel I want to relay Dad's feelings of I love you, because I don't feel as though he actually said that to you.
Correct.
But I want to relay that here today, and I want to stamp that within your memory, because I feel as though you have asked questions of, Dad, did you love me? Why didn't you tell me?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I want to assure you that he absolutely did. I want to say to you right now, he's front and center. You would understand there's things happening around you that you've needed help and answers to.
Yes.
Because I feel he's making me aware that you have been asking questions, and this is to do with other members in the family.
Yes.
I want to say to you, I feel he's letting me know that things will get easier. Does that
Good.
make sense to you?
Yes.
And I feel as though here that he's beside you. I feel like when you're sitting on the couch trying to work your way through these things, and I even feel a list in front of me of what you need to do and what hasn't been done. You'd understand that.
Yes.
I feel this gentleman sitting beside you wanting to tick a few more off than you would tick off, because you can be such a perfectionist and you want everything done so properly.
Yes.
And Dad would have said, look, that'll do. That's okay. It's enough. But you have to make sure it's done properly.
You're right.
Look, I would like you to leave you with Dad's love. And, oh, Patricia, am I correct in saying you were with Dad when he passed?
Yes.
I want to give to you a share of that final hug that you shared with him. It was big, it was tight, it was secure, and it was safe. And I want to pass part of that on to you so you can both share that.
Thank you.
Okay, darling, you have a wonderful evening or day or wherever you are.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem, Patricia. You have a good one.
What a wonderful gift.
My pleasure. So how are we going here for time, Sandra?
Well, it's up to you if you want to wrap that up as your last.
Okay, I feel as though I do have one more here.
Oh, then let's do it.
Okay. Now I do feel like I have a younger lad here. I do feel it's son, and I do feel I'm a lot younger. I'm still at school, and I'm still in that. I'm under 10 years old, I feel. Can we throw that out, please, Sandra?
A son who's under 10 years old.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. If you can understand that information, please press your raise hand button. Son in the spirit world, under 10 years old.
I do feel like I'm looking for mum.
No hands up just yet.
Okay. All righty. I do feel this little man would have been lost to illness. And I don't even feel that was that long ago. I feel it would have been within 5 years, Sandra. All right, so I will ask again. I feel as though I do have a young lad here. Perhaps I have the age incorrect. They may be over 10, but young. And I do feel this young one would have been lost to illness. And if we cannot find who he belongs to, I'm going to have him.
Thank you. Can someone understand this young man? Press your raise hand button.
Okay, I'm going to drop the relationship of son, but I do feel as though it would have been a member of the family.
Passed from illness in the last 5 years. No one raising their hand, Shirley.
Okay, the person may have left or may have been doing something else. So I will have the little boy with me. Thank
Maybe
you.
somebody watching the replay. I don't know. Well, thank you very much, Shirley Ann. Okay. We so appreciate you volunteering your time to be with us. I just have a couple of quick announcements, a few words from the week, and then we will wrap things up with our closing prayer and our fun, happy song. Okay, first of all, next week we have a special treat. We have a guest speaker coming. Her name is Kim Hodis. She's actually a happiness expert. She goes around to big conferences and talks about joy and happiness. Now, here's the thing. She has 2 children in the spirit world. So I recently interviewed her. You'll hear her episode with me coming out this week, but she's got one powerful story, how no matter what, we can find happiness. Carrie and Phil will also be back as our mediums. They'll be leaving shortly for Australia, and our friends Tim and Shirley Ann will be holding down the fort, running our psychic medium class. We'll have more information coming up about that in the next week or so. And what else can I tell you? I think that's it. That following week, Kath and Mitch Shirley are going to be doing our free grief cafe. You can find everything coming up at wedon'tdie.com. You click on the store page. Scott Milligan is also traveling. His classes are beginning again in July. You can click on the Scott Milligan page. You can click on the Carrie and Phil page. That will bring you to their website. Lots of good live events coming up with our tutors as well. Lots of good things coming up. wedon'tdie.com. Yes, that's it. And a shout out to our dear friends who have made our Sunday gathering possible by your kind donations. You know who you are, and we so appreciate you. If you want to donate or if you want to watch an past Sunday gathering or register for one of the upcoming ones, we do have a Sunday gathering page at wedon'tdie.com. So you can go right ahead and register for a few in the future. And of course, you'll get a reminder. The last thing I wanted to say about our theme today and Father's Day, I tell you, that boat builder really stuck with me, but it's the difference that we can make going forward. Now, I probably will never have children and never be a mother on this side of life. But the difference we can each make with the people around us, or if you have children or grandchildren, this is powerful for that too. But be aware of the ripple effect that we have. So as they say, watch your thoughts because they become words, and watch your words because they can become actions, et cetera, and so forth. It can begin with you, and you'll never know from generations to come whose sense of humor, or there's just something about them, or a phrase they use, or a recipe, whatever, that will just continue on because you're being who you are. We all fight with a negative voice in our head, but it doesn't mean we have to use it. So sometimes if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all. I know we've heard that before, but it's time to really practice that and know that people are watching and kids are watching. And so be who you want to see more of in the world. All right. So that's pretty much all I have to say for the words of the week. But I think it's some powerful words. And of course, happy Father's Day. We remember our dads, and our loved ones are all around. Even if you didn't get a message today, I hope you got messages through the messages of just how close they are and that their love continues. So with that, I'll turn it over to Shirley Ann for a closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. So if we could just all come together in the quiet again as we bring our 273rd, just cannot believe that, gathering to a close. If we could all give thanks for this special day, for that special dad, for that special mentor, for that special mum who has done fabulous work with both positions. If we give thanks for our family, those people around us who take us for who we are, no matter what, who are already always there with that blanket of security around us. If we could take the healing that we so diligently put out today and spread it all around the world. I almost want to spread the world like guacamole and paste it to the world. That wonderful healing balm that we have created here today. Put a little bit of that healing balm, that little bit of sunshine in your own pocket, just for you to carry around for the week until the next gathering. Please allow yourself to show your true feelings to those people that are close. Remind them you love them. Remind them that you are there for them. And of course, sending our love to our loved ones in the spirit world, getting on with their next stage of life. But as we bring this meeting to a close, please feel the love. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are always touched by the Spirit, by the connections and the relationships that you have with people around you. Cherish them, my friends, cherish them. Amen.
Thanks so much, Shirley Ann. Remember, I was talking about the ripple effect? Well, this song perfectly wraps up who we can be to cause a big impact in the world. Can you guess what it is? I'm not worried. I'm happy. That's right. Friends, thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Go register for next week, wedon'tdie.com. See you soon. Thank you, Shirley Ann. Bye, everyone.